the STDM, it's a software that can be able to store a lot of information
in the way it is intertwined.
Many citizens who are living in this particular informal settlements who have an equal right to the city just like everyone else.
Kenya, like most developing countries, has faced rapid growth of cities and urban areas over the years. This has been accompanied by immense increase in the number of urban inhabitants, resulting in proliferation of informal settlements that are characterized by exclusion of the urban poor, particularly in the access to land rights, infrastructure, basic services, and public resources.
Over the years, and in a rapidly urbanizing nation, Kenya has been confronted with the problem of informal settlement growth, which is very rapid, and this has created immense pressure on resources, both land and basic services within the urban spaces. And Pamoja Trust, founded in 1999, had the vision of championing land rights and housing rights, particularly on elements against forced evictions that were very rampant in the urban spaces.
For Pamoja Trust, leveraging on the existing social capital in the informal settlements to bridge the land governance and planning gap through the adoption of STDM is a step forward towards solving the urban problem.
The social tenure domain model is a development of the global land tool network. It's basically a process and a model that seeks to really bridge the gap that has been existing there in many developing countries in planning matters, where planning systems do not accommodate the complexities of informal and communal tenure.
The first decade, Pamoja Trust was organizing communities around issues of eviction. The second decade, Pamoja Trust scaled up and moved to engaging the duty bearers with the information. And this is when we saw Pamoja Trust adopting the STDM model. It addressed issues of who are going to be affected, facilities that are in the settlement, and also it builds the community's capacity.
Adoption of STDM has positioned the urban poor to not only negotiate for security of tenure, but also access to better infrastructure and services like water and sanitation. Further, it allows the settlers to be part of the process to enhance learning and sharing that would concretize opportunities for scale-up, thus improving the standards of livelihoods for the poor.
Service delivery within the informal settlements encompasses a lot of problems, given the nature and the complexity and the densities that exist within the informal settlement in the urban areas. And so, in the absence of planning, service delivery has been a problem.
The key challenges that we witnessed during this process was elements of tenancy groups, the forced evictions.
Pamoja Trust as an organization has been pushing for a responsive and adaptive model when we are addressing the planning processes in the informal settlement.
The tool that is innovative, flexible, pro-poor, affordable, and gender responsive is a specialization of the land administration domain model.
One of the key features within STDM is that it's able to attribute a person to a structure and to a physical facility. So we use STDM to be able to determine the extent to which public facilities such as sanitation blocks, water blocks, water points, roads do exist, and how many people are able to access those facilities.
The STDM tool and process has been critical to the recognition and recordation of the various bundles of rights that exist in urban spaces, in this way assuring individuals of certain rights to the spaces they occupy, as seen in Kwabulo settlement in Mombasa County.
Our first experience, which was Kwabulo, it was not as easy as many people would think so. Because starting it, initially the people of Kwabulo were not trusting the county government, because whenever there's anything to do with land, they think they are going to be evicted, that land being a private land. But we had to approach them in a good way and tell them our intentions of what we want to do. With that, they agreed, which we started our journey on Pamoja Trust on STDM.
Issuance of the certificates by the county government of Mombasa was a culmination of a long journey towards tenure regularization for the settlement. The STDM tool and process enable the residents to register their interest in the land, thereby guaranteeing them some bundle of rights over the land.
This process gave the residents of Kwabulo a voice to voice out their opinions and to voice out their development agenda. It created a space for them to engage with the county government, and it also gave the county government a platform to engage with its residents.
Informal settlements have remained vulnerable as easy targets of forced evictions since such spaces are either contested or lack proper ownership documentation.
The community realizes they do not have security of tenure for the same land. My team that is in charge of social organizing organizes community to problematize the issue of security of tenure. We begin asking ourselves, how do we engage the service provider? That is when now we come up to the next process of packaging our information. We need the information, and it is when the STDM comes in.
This includes enumeration and mapping of an entire settlement while seeking to establish the total number of people living in the area, the levels of income generation, employment, available physical and social infrastructure, and social and cultural issues like community organization and information flow.
The best things about this process and this tool is that it's fit for purpose, it's adaptive, it's flexible, so then it can be modeled around a community's vision or a community's issue that they want to address. The engagement depends on the needs of the community, on the vision of the community. So then we map out stakeholders we want to engage based on the needs or the vision that we have.
The approach aimed to not only share Mombasa County experiences and upscale efforts to Nairobi County, but also build the capacities of settlement executive leaderships of informal settlements in Nairobi and Mombasa, hence building their capacity to engage over in their pursuit of tenure security.
As a planner, I'm seeing a very good instrument that can be used, STDM, that can be used to facilitate development in informal settlement.
One of the key outcomes of the STDM engagement with Cities Alliance and the Global Land Tool Network has been the creation of STDM teams of about 20 to 25 youthful members of the community who we engage. The STDM teams present an opportunity for support to the leadership and to also maintain that sustainability of the STDM process.
Importance ya youth kwa security of tenure ni they are computer literate, so information ile imekuwa collected kwa kijiji ni hao wanaikeep kwa computer, so hao ndio wanaimanage. Hiyo information tumegather kama community inaweza tusaidia in the near future, in that kama kuna demolition wanaweza consider for B kama kijiji, cause STDM ina identify ni nani particular person yule ana occupy hiyo space. Sasa zile notice inafanywa, tunaweza present hii information tuseme hii si open place, kuna watu wana occupy na tuko na evidence.
Muungano wa Wanavijiji through the Mathare network supported by Pamoja has focused on continued engagement with the government through the Lands Ministry and other government agencies in organizing informal communities such as Mathare Mashimoni and 4B to collect, manage and package their information for engagement for security of tenure.
STDM process has really given us a space to also engage with other stakeholders within the national government, within the county government, and also our communities. In collaboration with Cities Alliance and of course with support from GLTN, we are now able to talk about upscaling to get STDM mainstreamed into our national framework.
The approach took on a multi-level stakeholder approach that targeted stakeholders at the micro, meso and macro levels in Nairobi and Mombasa counties.
There exist numerous opportunities to upscale STDM, because what we've been able to do is we've been only able to do in a few settlements. There still remains a lot that has not been done. So once STDM is embraced across various sectors like land and planning and all, even resources allocation, it becomes a tool or a method that will be able to change the livelihoods and not only that of the dignity of people living within the informal settlements.
This has given an opportunity to upscale these positive gains by securing lessons, experiences and partnerships and using them for policy discussion and advocacy for recognition of STDM.
We took the spatial plan for Kwabulo and then we had to walk the journey with them door to door. Each family could tell us where the boundaries are, and we were able to pick, and the same were mapped. So up to date, no physical beacons were done, but at least somebody will tell you, this is my mark, this is my boundary. So with that one, they had that surety. At least the county government is doing something for us. This is the best way that in case of any negotiation, we'll be able even to know the number of people in Kwabulo. Out of the time we were doing the demarcation, we were able also to pave way for the roads. With the system of STDM, later on the county government took the same data and used it and made a good road for the Kwabulo people.
STDM gives community members the power to be in charge of their land information, allowing them to be involved in matters such as transfer of rights among themselves, while recognizing the unique tenure relationships and entitlements accruing to every individual member of that community.
There is need also to organize communities just to give them an identity. So without losing even the community organizations and the structures on the ground, for instance, the housing cooperative. When you go to Mashimoni and Madare 4B, yes, there is existence of various groups for purposes of social interactions, but then when it comes to pursuing the advocacy issues, that is the land tenure, we have the housing cooperative, and then we also have a component that is in charge of settlement development issues, the Settlement Executive Committee.
The social tenure domain model thing, we as the settlement executive team, we welcome it much. Because as the SEC team, we were supposed to have the information of our informal settlement. Because it's not easy to talk with someone or to discuss matter concerning our community if you don't have a data.
STDM gives citizenship by assisting communities identify themselves with their settlement and have government recognize their existence while using their data to advocate and get their spaces within the policy.
You cannot fight for the land individually, you can just fight for the land as a team. And that is why we formed cooperative, to unite together so that we can have a common goal.
To us also, it was the first time to use STDM, but through capacity building with Pamoja Trust, our officers together with the community of Kwabulo, we were able to do socioeconomic survey. We enumerated the people there. The county government is happy because it has some data bank for the same. We know what are the problems in Kwabulo. At least we are able to know what is the category of income within Kwabulo through the system of STDM.
That's where we come from as an organization, that our adaptive are the planning regimes that we have as a nation, and our adaptive are the approaches that are sought by government and other players to improve informal settlements. And that then brought us to this great partnership with Cities Alliance, who have supported our work in promoting adaptive settlement planning models that we've done jointly with county governments in Mombasa and Nairobi, and we seek to expand to other counties.